We use the term masterclass because that it's a session to come and work, get insight, do some work on what you're dealing with AI and data, and to roll your sleeves up. So what we're going to do is show some real case studies, some real tools that we use. And what you're going to do in the room is reflect on those and see how they apply and what you're dealing with. So this isn't just to come and listen, sit at the back of the room and then walk away. It's come and roll your sleeves up and get stuck in and then walk away with some insights that are specific to you and really how you can say, the world I'm dealing with is how do I have this stuff on the agenda in my business? How do I have my senior stakeholders support what I'm doing? What you'll walk away with is the insights that'll let you do that. At the risk of saying, of course, it's all things to all people, actually, so yes, senior data execs should be there because I know they're often the ones that are really grappling with that conversation at the kind of executive C-suite level where people don't get the value of it and how do you relate that into business terms. But of course, anyone that's engaged in projects that might be in this space, anyone that reports to those people who need to support them in what they're taking into the C-suite should come along as well. So it's not just for the kind of the senior execs all the way through to the managers and the analysts as well.
It was one of these things where I started the advanced analytics practice at Investa. And immediately when you do this, right, you've got a long list of hundreds of things you could possibly do. And some are related to some things and some are related to others. And it's not easy to actually write a strategy around the portfolio of what you want to do with advanced analytics. And there's costs associated, and these costs aren't insignificant, right? So you're now starting to talk about really technical things to business leaders. And I come from the business investment side myself. And there's all this technical language. And so we started looking at it and I was like, look, we have to put this in investment language. We have to be able to trade off the different kinds of use cases, because some of them might be, say, in the world of real estate, commercial real estate that I'm in, some might be, how do we build predictive hunting algorithms in order to let us buy new buildings and development sites at the best price, right? Like that's one use case. Another use case is we have sensor data coming off of a lot of our premium and A-grade office buildings, millions and millions of rows every second. How do we maximize that to really, operate the building for the best for our tenants? And so these are two extremely different use cases. One is high data flow, streaming data, crazy sensor data, and in a building. And another one is capital transactions, investment, and portfolio level underwriting. So when you start to talk about these things, it's like, how do you know which one's better? And by better, then we started to get into that conversation, well, what's better? So how this masterclass came about is I was sitting at one of the Data Futurology, the gorgeous lunches, and I recommend everyone go to them if you do get an invite. I was sitting, we were looking, it was in Sydney, we were looking over the water, and we were hearing in a Chatham House rule, so I won't share any of the detail, but we were hearing kind of the pain that all of the data and analytics leaders and chief data officers were going through. And there was all similar things to what I had gone through until I worked with Paul to actually build, it's really an investment portfolio model applied to data and analytics. And so we started talking and I was like, I'm just not okay with this, right? Like I get the pain and I also get having to speak to the board and the executive around all these different kinds of use cases, having to explain the value, having short attention spans, having, not understanding the technicality. And this isn't about, where I work, but in general, people have been made to feel stupid around math and statistics from when they were young. And so often you get kind of that glazed look, and you'll know what I'm talking about. How do you put it in terms that make people want to engage? Because otherwise, even if they say yes to the projects, the stakeholder engagement just starts going south. And so you have to do this thing where then they cut budget. It's this seesaw of pain that happens. And there's a lot of nuance in it, but it was really about how do we speak the language of the business of investment? How do we talk about how data and analytics empowers our business strategy? So everyone will have some similar version of a growth pillar or an outperform pillar. There's always something around reputation and people. There's kind of the same flavors of strategy. How do we align our use cases to show ROI against strategy. How do we take into account cost and how do we take into account risk? And so that's what we built together. And then I was sitting at that lunch going, we can't gatekeep this, guys. There was so much pain in the room. I was like, please let us, and it's not mine, it's Paul's obviously, but this is something that people need to have access to so that kind of the pain goes down, hopefully.